In this video, I'm going to be talking about the rumors of the A7R5 and what I think will most likely be coming out. With only a few days left for this thing to come out, let's see if any of my claims and these so-called rumors are going to come true. But first, let me do a quick roundup of said rumors so you know where we stand. We're looking at the same 61 megapixel sensor because all of that engineering and power goes into the new processor. 8K 24 frames per second cropped, 4K 60 and 4K 24 full readout. We're looking at Cinetone, 8 stops of IBIS, and a little bit about that new AI autofocus system. The new AF system has a new AI processing unit for object recognition and human pose estimation. It is also a hint for what is coming next in the generations of sports cameras in the future, because it recognizes things like cars, trains, planes, insects on top of already being able to do humans, animals, and birds. This will be entirely new. And I keep reading that the body will be a mix between the A7S3 and the A7 IV, but it's also rumored that the body will be all new, as Sony usually uses the R series cameras for body change, which also changes the battery grip and cages you may already have. So let me break these rumors down one by one, and we'll see if any of these actually come true. The first rumor, the sensor stays at 61 megapixels. I think this one's true. I know we've been hearing of some very high megapixel sensors in the past few years, such as the highly anticipated 100 megapixel sensor that we've been reading about in the last year that would be the new R series sensor. But 61 megapixels just makes sense. And if they can improve it with a new processor to help with focus accuracy, low light, dynamic range, maybe some added frames per second, I think it's super smart to stay with 61 megapixel sensor. It is already more than enough, and the highlight and shadow recovery of the A7R4 are amazing and always blew me away. Next one, a totally new autofocus system. Why not? They have to have something to get you to part with your hard-earned money over the A7R4. The rumors are that the new AF system has a new AI processing unit for object recognition and human pose estimation. If it actually recognizes cars, trains, planes, and insects on top of humans, animals, and birds, that will actually be a game changer, as you will not have to select those separate functions by your custom button for humans, animals, or birds in the future. Plus the addition of planes, cars, and trains, and insects. Yeah, it's a game changer. I really do think if that one's real, that one's pretty cool. And it does help out a lot, because when you're switching between that on the A7S3 or A7 IV, it would make it really nice. Don't expect this in the video spec, however. A lot of these new autofocus features never come out to the video section of these new A7R cameras, like in the past with the first iteration of iAutofocus. The next one, 8K 24p cropped. Sure, why not? 8K is so overhyped in my eyes, but yes, every new camera that has a large sensor will be marketed as an 8K camera. And it should be. For what they cost, they all should be. They should have all the specs in them. Everything. Crop won't be such a bad thing, and it makes sense because they can't cannibalize the A1 with full frame 8K at 30 frames per second in 10-bit 422 or 10-bit 420. This does bring us to our next one with 4K 60 and 4K 24 full readout. I'm 99% sure we will not be getting 4K 120 in this camera because of, again, cannibalizing the A1, FX3, and A7S3, but full frame 4K 60 and 4K 24 with full readout are awesome and great options to have as a travel camera or even to use at a wedding to catch some quick clips in slow motion. And the full readout will help out with the rolling shutter, and this will be one of the first things I'll be interested in, as that high of a megapixel has in the past had horrible rolling shutter. Cinetone, this one's a guarantee. I mean, if they don't add this at this point to every Sony camera moving forward, they're just honestly making people mad at them. So yes, Sony obviously will add Cinetone to this camera and anything else that comes out in the near future, probably forever. And 8 stops of IBIS. I think this one would be awesome if this one's real. That would put it on par with the likes of Panasonic and Canon, who both have a lot better IBIS than the likes of Sony. Even though I have been pretty impressed with the A7 IV with a stabilized lens on it, they did a really good job with that camera. Now, a few of my own predictions and common beliefs that I will put out there. It will most definitely have dual Type A card slots, which will be awesome to see how those cards handle the 61 megapixel photos at that speed. I mean, they do just fine with the A1 at 51 megapixels, but I am looking forward to a few more frames per second than 10 frames per second on the new A7R5. This one's kind of hopeful. In a recent interview Cindy D did with Sony manager, I'm not going to try to read his name, I'll just put it up right here. He stated that it is not impossible to add electronic ND to small alpha cameras. What if this is the camera that debuts in? What if they put 2 stops of ND in there? Kind of like the ZV series of cameras? That would be awesome. That'd be so awesome. Finally, we get like 1 to 2 stops of ND that we could just, oh, that'd be awesome. Be pretty cool. The next one, battery. Does Sony come out with a new battery to deal with the increase in processing power? Maybe the new body will be with a grip and a large battery? I don't really think so on this one. Sony, they try to keep things really small, but I think it could get around the power issues they might be dealing with that new processor. Maybe they have it all figured out. I don't know. In any case, I am excited for the new A7R5, and I think that it will be the next step for Sony in autofocus and high resolution. A place to start for the next round of cameras to come out in the next few years, like the A7S4, A9 III, the A1 II. We'll see. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I know the algorithm likes it. So maybe hit that like button while you're at it, subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future. That's all from me today, folks. Until next time, see ya.